The conference focused on the African private sector hearings that have been put in place to facilitate policy, hold discussions with the private sector, and more importantly, address the challenges facing the private sector in Africa and make sure that the voice of the private sector is heard. Participants underlined the vital importance of SMEs in boosting Africa's trade and economy. Their integration into the African Continental Free Trade Area is seen as essential for building inclusive growth, strengthening regional value chains, and opening new markets for African entrepreneurs. The Executive Director of the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Kubur Gina, spoke about the objective of the African private sector hearings.
So we have actually now put in place a platform with the AfCFTA Secretariat, which brings the private sector and the Secretariat to discuss on any issues that are impacting the AfCFTA. It could be problems with customs, it could be internal logistical problem, it can be movement of people. So all those issues will be discussed in the open, and decisions or consultative ideas will be brought to the attention of the Secretariat. And I think this regular interaction between the private sector and the AfCFTA Secretariat and the government will be good for the integration of the continent and also for expanding trade across the continent.
For her part, Ms. Cynthia Gnasingbe Esonam, Senior Advisor in charge of private sector engagement at the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, said the hearings are a platform for the private sector to discuss its concerns with the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area to culminate in tangible solutions.
So the hearing is really a consultative forum where the private sector comes to express their challenges, and the Secretariat and other partners and stakeholders are there to provide the solutions together with the private sector. Of course, following the hearings, as we said, there are going to be some conclusions, policy brief that will be probably issued. Some of these cases will probably need further analysis. So behind, there's going to be some work to be done from the Secretariat and the private sector, and also the policymakers, to ensure that these particular challenges are addressed.
By amplifying the role of the private sector, the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area promises to turn policy into real opportunities for African businesses. Assia, Bekkar, Radio Algeria International, the Exhibition Hall, Algiers.